it's Marine. Welcome back to my little English page. Today is our weekly listening practice, but it's going to be slightly different today. I thought it was time for a change. We'll go back to the usual type of lesson next week, but once in a while I will do a different lesson like this one today. So before we start, I just want to remind you that you could become the patron of the week. How? By just getting me a cup of coffee at www.coffee.com, and that will give you a big shout out on Saturday, today, and a big shout out on Instagram as well. So guys, today we are going to do listening comprehension and a bit of vocabulary. Actually, the vocabulary is going to go first this time, okay? I said it was going to be a little bit different. We are not going to do an activity where there's gaps to fill in. There's actually questions that you have to answer. So hopefully you'll like this little change and you'll find it interesting, maybe useful. I don't know, just enjoyable in general. So let's see who is in the comment section. Hey Lolly, how are you? Sheriff is here as well. We have Andrea, Kader, and Sergi as well. Nice to see you guys. How are you doing? How is your weekend going? It's just the beginning. Do you have any good plans? Or not? Maybe you're just staying at home for the weekend, which is also absolutely fine. All right, so if you are new and you don't know how this works, there is a slight delay between the moment you write a comment and the moment I receive it. So if you're desperately writing comments and I'm not responding, it's because I haven't seen your comment yet. So as I said today, guys, we are doing something a little bit different. Oh, sorry, I think my lens is a bit smudged. Is it better? Oh yeah, it's a little bit better. So, hi EEU, how are you? So like I said, today is going to be a little bit different. We don't have a teacher who's a special guest. Our special guest today is Arran. And we are not going to listen to a fable this time. But remember, on Thursday I told you I wanted to write a dialogue between Arran and I and do an activity based on that dialogue. So, one of you suggested something related to, I don't remember if it was traveling or living abroad. So I've decided to slightly tweak that and turn it into things that we found a bit strange about each other's country. So I'm going to mention a few things that I found strange or weird or maybe interesting about England, and Arran is going to do the same in the audio about France. So hopefully you'll also find the content fun and interesting. It was quite fun to write the dialogue, so I hope you feel the same as well. Okay, Sheriff is saying, Marine and Arran, a match made in heaven. Maybe. So I'm at home and I learned the phrasal verb to put up. Yeah, to put up with. Absolutely, very good, Sergi. And then Sheriff, you're watching The Blue Elephant Part 2. Oh, and you're watching Aladdin as well. Is it good? I haven't watched it yet. I'm considering watching it. All right, so today we're going to start with vocabulary, okay? Usually we do that after the audio, but today we're going to have a look at some interesting vocabulary first. Then I'm going to show you the questions. Then you're going to listen, but there's not going to be anything written on the screen. You're not going to see the questions as you listen for the first time, and you're not going to see the text either. I just want you to focus on listening and understanding as much as possible. Then I will play it again, but this time the questions will remain on the screen, so that will be a little bit easier for you guys to answer the questions. We have 8 questions in total. Okay, kind of like the usual. We have a mix of yes/no questions where you have to say true or false, and other questions where you actually have to write the answer, so open questions, okay? All right, so Sergi's saying you prefer dialogues. Good. This is going to be a little bit more like real life conversation, real life listening practice, okay? So let's have a look at today's vocabulary. Okay, so the first word that I've chosen, you'll notice that the vocabulary is a little bit more simple here because, like I said, this is real life conversation. I would say it's maybe intermediate, around those lines, something like that, okay? The first vocabulary word that I wanted to teach you is the word packaging. Packaging, okay, not packaging, 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 okay? All right, so this word refers to the material used to wrap goods. So the things that protects products when you buy them. It's often plastic, it can also be paper or cardboard. For example, in food, let's say you have a chocolate bar, it's the plastic around it. That is the packaging, the wrap around it, okay? Good. So yeah, Sheriff, you had a little sneak peek at the questions on Instagram. Absolutely, I shared a little snap on Instagram where I showed some of the questions. So if you follow me on Instagram, you have an idea already of what kind of questions you are going to get. And yes, Sergi, very good. Packaging is the wrapping, absolutely. Then the next word is tap. So tap could be an action to tap or the dance to tap dance. In this case, it's not at all what we're referring to. We are referring to, so the definition is a bit complicated. A device from which the water flows. You have a tap, for example, in the kitchen, okay, where the water comes out. This is the tap. When you go to the restaurant and you don't want to buy a water bottle, but you want free water, you can ask for tap water. Tap water, okay? It's free water straight from the tap, from the little metal thing where the water comes out, okay? So that is the tap or a tap. The next word that we are going to have a look at today is plug. Plug. Yes, faucet is another word. Yes, absolutely. Very good, Andrea. So the plug can be a verb, to plug something or the plug. Now, to plug is to, let me show you an example of a plug. Let me unplug my laptop. Okay, this, when you put it in the socket, it is to plug, or the object itself is a plug as well, okay? You might also see the word socket, socket, okay? Similar thing, just slightly different word, okay? Very good. Yeah, electricity fork, absolutely, very good. Now, I said so it's a piece of equipment used to power electrical devices, okay? So I'm going to remove it though because it's like right on my eyes. I'm blind for the rest of the live if I do that. So I'm just going to remove it for now, okay? So yeah, let's remove that. Exactly, the charger plugs, for example. Very good. Yes, Sheriff, I have a MacBook. When you do a lot of creative kind of things, a MacBook is usually quite useful. It took me a while to get used to a MacBook. I'd never had a MacBook before and I didn't like it at first, but now I like it. Okay, excuse me. Next expression is a waste of time. A waste of time. I feel that you're familiar or that you understand this expression, but I still thought I'd put it out here because it's an interesting one. So a waste of time or to waste time, it can be a verb or a noun, is basically bad use of time. So if you waste time, you are using your time badly, okay? Or if it's a waste of time, it is time that is badly used. Good. So if you have examples of things that you do to waste time, let me know. For example, for me, I sometimes procrastinate and I go on YouTube and just watch random videos. This is sometimes a waste of time because it's not always educational or there's no real purpose to it. It's just a waste of time, okay? Throw it, so it's Andreas with an S. Okay, I'll say the S from now on. Good. All right, so next word we have to point out. Another word that I feel you're familiar with or that you should probably know. To point out something, it is to mention it. So it doesn't have to be to physically point out, okay? It can be if you mention something, you bring it up, you point it out. Or it's also to draw attention to something, but it can be physical, okay? If I say, look, I'm pointing something, okay? I'm pointing out. I'm pointing at it. That's the action with my finger. I'm pointing at it. But in general, I'm pointing it out, okay? Good. So Sheriff is giving us some example. For example, binge watching TV or social media, they can be a waste of time. Absolutely, indeed. Very good. All right, next word, it is to pout. To pout. So this is a verb, to pout. My definition here is to put your lips forward. A better example would be to go on Instagram, look for Instagram models, and they're all like that. This is to pout, duck face. Okay, to pout. So do you guys pout on your photos? I try not to. I don't think I pout usually, but I think you see it so often that it becomes kind of natural to go, All right, so pouting. Do you pout? Let me know in the comment section, guys. Now, pouting can also be kids when they're not happy. Okay, it doesn't have to be only Instagram models. Kids also pout. All right. You try to point out what is not true, Sergi. Good. I want to point out to you that it is not true. Very good. You didn't know the word pout, so good. You're learning something. Fantastic. And yes, the duck face. Oh, that is not a good face. All right, so next word, guys, we have, so a few more. We have frown, which is also related to some kind of facial expression. So in general, so it's a facial expression that expresses disapproval. It can be concentration. So now I've had a big debate about frowning. In general, frowning is this. When your eyes go like this, your eyebrows, okay, you frown. Either because you're thinking or you disagree, okay? This is frowning. But I've heard Americans say that frowning means this. When you do this with your mouth, to frown. I always thought it was just the forehead, but apparently Americans frown like this. Okay. All right. So Sheriff said, I guess it's a woman thing. You just pouted at the beach, Marine. Okay, maybe. I think men also pout. I've seen men pout on social media as well. Yes, to frown with your forehead. Hi, Hugo. How are you? All right. So Hugo wants to point out that he never pouts. Good for you, Hugo. Alright, guys, and we have the last word, which I think is also a common word, a word that you are probably familiar with, but it's one of the last words, so I wanted to make sure that you understood it. It is grumpy. Grumpy. So grumpy refers to, I guess, a mental state or how someone feels, their mood, okay? Basically, it is bad-tempered or irritable. Moody is a synonym as well. You're moody. So when you are grumpy, you probably frown and maybe you pout as well. Okay? I'm frowning, I'm pouting, I'm grumpy. Not happy. Okay? Very good. Frown is a verb that has 4,829 level of frequency. Alright, I'm not sure what that means, but thanks for the info, Sergi. Andreas, yes, if you're grumpy, you're not really happy. You're just, it's not quite angry. Angry would be much stronger. It's before angry, but just, you're annoyed. Not happy, I'm annoyed. I'm grumpy. It could also be, sometimes you wake up in the morning and you're just not in a good mood. You're just grumpy. You're moody. Grumpy, moody. Yes, Andreas, the grumpy cat. That is such a funny cat. On social media, the kind of marks on his face make him look like so grumpy, like he's constantly frowning. Okay? Good. All right, so let's see. We have a few questions. Sheriff is saying, have you ever taught kids? Yes and no. So I don't particularly like teaching kids a full class, a full course. I have done a bit of subbing and taught kids in those situations, but I'm more comfortable teaching adults in general, okay? Grumpy is C1 level. Okay, and it's in the Cambridge Dictionary. All right. Thanks, Sergi. All right, guys. So now we're going to have a look at the questions, okay? We're going to have a look at all of the questions. So you should still be able to hear me, right, guys? Just let me know in the comment section. So, the 8 questions today are: number 1, what is Cadbury? Number 2, everything is closed on Sunday in the UK. Is it true or false? By the way, don't answer now, okay? Listen to the audio first. UK bathrooms are impractical. Is it true or false? Why are there no plugs in UK bathrooms? How do people greet each other in France? Counting in French is easy. True or false? Name 2 things French people do when they speak. And what stereotypical trait does Arran mention about the French? Okay? Alright, so just a reminder, guys, those are things that we have experienced. It doesn't mean it's the same everywhere in the UK or everywhere in France. If you're, from somewhere in the UK or from France, please don't get offended. This is just supposed to be something a bit fun and to teach you a little bit about things in general in the UK and in France. But it doesn't apply to every single person in those countries, okay? All right, don't want anybody angry. The same if you look at the last question, guys, okay? What stereotypical trait does Arran mention about the French? This is a stereotype. It's not correct or true. It's something generally thought, okay? Good. All right, I have hair everywhere on my face today. Ugh. Okay, so we're going to listen to it for the first time now, okay? You are not going to see anything but a photo of Arran and I on the screen, so just focus on listening. Close your eyes. It's about 3 minutes, so it's a little bit longer than other things we've done so far. So you really need to pay attention and stay focused, okay? So here we go with some differences between France and the UK. Let's go.
This is just so good. I love Cadbury chocolate.
Yeah, it's quite tasty. But what I like the most is the packaging. Actually, the packaging in the UK is fantastic in general.
Yeah. I can't believe how excited you were just looking at the packaging of all the products at Tesco last Sunday.
I was shocked it was actually open on a Sunday.
No, what's weird is that everything is closed on Sunday in France. Why?
That's because it's the day of the Lord, so nobody works.
Yeah, well, the Lord needs to buy eggs on Sundays too.
It's not that weird. There are many more strange things in the UK.
Oh, really? Like what?
Well, for instance, your bathrooms are not practical at all.
What do you mean?
Take the tap, for example. Why do you have a separate tap for cold and hot water? When you wash your hands, you either burn them off with the boiling hot water or lose fingers because the water is freezing cold. Can't you just install taps that mix hot and cold water?
All right. I'll give you that one. It is a bit strange.
But that's not all. I don't think I've ever seen a plug in an English bathroom. Where are you supposed to dry your hair if you can't plug the hairdryer? And what if you have an electric toothbrush? What do? Do you charge the battery in the kitchen? That's not very convenient.
Okay, true. But I think that's just a safety measure. But wait a minute. There's also a bunch of weird things in France too.
That's not true. Name one thing.
Oh, Maureen, I can name a million things. I never know how many kisses I'm supposed to give when I greet someone. Depending on where you are in France, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, or even 5 kisses. That's kind of a waste of time.
All right. I guess you're right. I even get confused myself.
And what about French numbers? That's the most illogical system I've ever heard of. I mean, how do you say 90 again?
That would be 90?
which is basically 4 2010. 90.
You know, I had never really noticed that until somebody pointed it out. I guess it's just natural for us French.
And I also find it funny how you all pout all the time when you speak.
What do you mean?
I don't know, you guys speak with your mouth forward, just like the mouth of all those Instagram models. It's kind of funny.
No, really?
Oh yeah, and you also frown a lot when you speak.
Are you saying we're grumpy people?
Maybe.
Alright, so that was the first listening, okay? The first time you heard the audio. I'm very, very curious to know what you thought about it, if you liked it or not. Poor Arran was mortified recording it and then listening to it again after. He just doesn't really like doing that kind of things, but I really appreciated him participating. And if you liked it as well and you would like Arran to do more recordings like that with me, please let me know in the comment section, and we'll convince him. We'll make him do it, yeah. Alright, so don't worry, we will listen to it a second time. For the second time, you will see the questions. Oh, it's getting really hot. You will see the questions on the screen. That way you'll be able to answer the questions a little bit better, okay? But remember, for this first time, I just wanted you to focus on fully listening and just, understanding what you heard. So before I play it again, I want you guys to tell me maybe if you found some things a little bit interesting or surprising. If you have some fun facts or weird things that you know about either the French or the Brits or even other nationalities, okay? Keep it until the end of the lesson. We'll have a little chit chat about that later on, okay? So Sheriff, you say you really liked it, okay? And then Hugo, you had never noticed the 90 thing. Yeah, I had never noticed until someone told me. And it's true that many French numbers are just very complicated. What else do we have? 70 is 6010. Why don't you just have a number for 70? Nope, we just don't do that. Okay, guys? Alright, and then Sheriff said it was funny when Arran said that the French pout and frown all the time. Okay. Sorry, you found it interesting and entertaining as well. Many kisses to greet people in France, and you do that in Egypt too. Okay. Alright guys, so let's listen to the recording one more time. This time with the questions on the board. Let's go.
This is just so good. I love Cadbury chocolate.
Yeah, it's quite tasty. But what I like the most is the packaging. Actually, the packaging in the UK is fantastic in general.
Yeah. I can't believe how excited you were just looking at the packaging of all the products at Tesco last Sunday.
I was shocked it was actually open on a Sunday.
No, what's weird is that everything is closed on Sunday in France. Why?
That's because it's the day of the Lord, so nobody works.
Yeah, well, the Lord needs to buy eggs on Sundays too.
It's not that weird. There are many more strange things in the UK.
Oh, really? Like what?
Well, for instance, your bathrooms are not practical at all.
What do you mean?
Take the tap, for example. Why do you have a separate tap for cold and hot water? When you wash your hands, you either burn them off with the boiling hot water or lose fingers because the water is freezing cold. Can't you just install taps that mix hot and cold water?
All right. I'll give you that one. It is a bit strange.
But that's not all. I don't think I've ever seen a plug in an English bathroom. Where are you supposed to dry your hair if you can't plug the hairdryer? And what if you have an electric toothbrush? What do? Do you charge the battery in the kitchen? That's not very convenient.
Okay, true. But I think that's just a safety measure. But wait a minute. There's also a bunch of weird things in France too.
That's not true. Name one thing.
Oh, Maureen, I can name a million things. I never know how many kisses I'm supposed to give when I greet someone. Depending on where you are in France, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, or even 5 kisses. That's kind of a waste of time.
All right. I guess you're right. I even get confused myself.
And what about French numbers? That's the most illogical system I've ever heard of. I mean, how do you say 90 again?
That would be 90?
Which is basically 4 2010. 90.
You know, I had never really noticed that until somebody pointed it out. I guess it's just natural for us French.
And I also find it funny how you all pout all the time when you speak.
What do you mean?
I don't know. You guys speak with your mouth forward, just like the mouth of all those Instagram models. It's kind of funny.
No, really?
Oh yeah. And you also frown a lot when you speak.
Are you saying we're grumpy people?
Maybe.
Alright, so I see Sergi's already writing some answers in the comment section. Fantastic, very, very good. So, let's go guys. Start writing your answers. I want to give you the chance to write your answers in the comment section. In the chat. And while you do that, I shall just nicely and slowly drink water. Alright, so, let's see. So, Sergi, I think all of your answers are pretty much correct. Okay. Andreas is also writing some answers. Okay, very good. Sheriff as well. All right. By the way, guys, do you know where a lot of our usual student friends are? We have very few students today. It's a bit surprising. Maybe it's because it's August and everybody's on holiday. That would make sense, wouldn't it? Yeah. Okay, Lolly's answering as well. Lolly, would you agree with some of the things that Arran said about the French? We'll talk about it once we have the answers, but I found some of the things he said a little bit funny and surprising, I guess. Woo, it's windy. Okay. Alright, so you guys have a lot of good answers. Okay, Lolly as well. So number 2 is false. Counting in French is easy. False. Yes, absolutely. Okay, so let's have a look at all of the answers. So Cadbury is a brand of sweets. I wanted to write just chocolate at first, but they do a little bit more than just chocolate. They also have chocolate bars and some kind of candy things. So in general, I would say it's a brand of sweets, okay? Now, everything is closed on Sunday in the UK. This is absolutely false. In France, everything is closed in the UK. In England, everything's pretty much open all the time. The thing that I found a bit strange, though, is that the shops in the UK close much earlier than in France, for example. In France, it's around 8:30 or 9. In England, a lot of things... England, I don't know about Scotland or Wales or Northern Ireland, but in England, I've noticed that a lot of things close at around 5 or 6 in the afternoon, which is very, very early. Okay, then UK bathrooms are impractical. It is absolutely true. If you remember, the first reason is because the tap is divided between hot and cold, so you can't really mix the water, and it's either boiling hot or boiling hot or freezing cold. And the second thing is there's no plug, there's no sockets in the bathroom, so you can't really use any electrical device there. Now, the reason for that is question number 4. It is for safety measures. A lot of bathrooms in the UK don't have a very good ventilation system. The airflow is not great, so it gets really foggy, very steamy, and I think that's not very safe to have electricity around that. I've even seen bathrooms with carpet on the floor. Weird, right? Okay, then in France, to say hello, to greet someone, you kiss each other, not on the mouth, of course, on the cheeks, okay? And it can go between 1 and up to 5 times. So let me just go back here up. Where I'm from, around Paris, we tend to do between 2 and 3. Some people might push it to 4, but it's just when you have a lot of people to say hello to, it's a bit It's a waste of time sometimes, yeah. Now with very, very good friends, you might just do one or maybe two. You might do a little hug as well. And of course, if it is someone that you don't know, you probably just shake hands, okay? Good. All right, so let's go back to the answers. Then, counting in French is easy? Absolutely not. It is not easy. It's complicated. But like I said, for a French person, it's just natural. That is just how you memorize numbers, but it is a little bit weird. 80 is 420, 90 is 42010, 70 is 6010. Now, if you learn French in Belgium instead of France, or maybe in Canada, they do have a number for those. So instead of doing 42010, which is 90, they have a special word which is 90, which means 90. And they have the same for 70, 70, they say 70. So this is just a little fun fact that I thought you would be interested in knowing about numbers. And now the thing that French do all the time, they pout and they frown. Now, I completely disagreed with Arran when he said that, and I realized that I was like this. No, that's not true. No. So I was pouting and frowning. And it's true, I've paid a bit more attention to my friends when they speak, and we do speak a little bit like that, with our mouth forward. Lolly, would you agree? What do you think? Let me know. I'm curious to see what you think. Alright, and then the last answer, guys, which is a stereotype, okay? A stereotype, it's not true, it's just what people think, is that French people are grumpy. Now, I think I know where the stereotype comes from. It comes from people in Paris. A lot of French people in Paris seem grumpy, but you have to keep in mind that they're probably just coming back from work or going to work. They're tired. They've probably spent about an hour and a half in public transport. So they just want to get out of there and get home or get to work. So that's why people might seem a little bit grumpy in France sometimes, but we're not. And also, if we frown a lot, we probably look grumpy, but we're not necessarily actually angry or upset. We're just maybe thinking or, thinking. Alright, guys. So Andreas, this is actually something that people have told me a lot in England or in Spain. It's like, you're very nice for a French person. So yeah, apparently yes, but most people I know that are French are lovely. You have idiots everywhere in every country. That's just everywhere. But that is something that I've been told several times before as well. Okay, so now Sheriff is asking as well, would you mention some of the Spanish, maybe stereotypes and things like that? Spaniard, specifically in the south where I'm from, speak very, very, very loud. And I speak very, very loud as well. I always spoke quite loud, but since I live in Spain and I'm a teacher now, it's gotten even worse. And my family's always telling me, Marine, stop shouting! I'm not shouting, that's just my natural voice now. I've even had Instagram, lives with other teachers, and they'd be like, Marine, stop screaming. That's just me, guys. That's just how I speak. It feels very strange for me to speak like that. You're not going to understand me like that. I need to speak louder. Okay. Sheriff is saying, French people are quite adorable. Thank you. And Lolly, they are always grumpy. You agree 100%. They're always complaining. Yeah, we do like complaining. And it's true, for example, another stereotype, which is not really just a stereotype, it's quite true-ish. We're often on strike. Yes, we're often on strike, especially around summer or when school starts again. Public transports go on strike, so it kind of paralyzes the country a little bit. So yeah, strikes, but that's, from the French Revolution, we've learned that if you want something, you have to fight for it yourself. So that's why we strike a lot as well, I think. But if you ask someone smoking outside a building, they're quite friendly. That's because they're having their nicotine dose, probably. Yeah, I think that's another. It's fairly true. Maybe not as much as it used to, but a lot of French people smoke, and especially in the past, it was quite common, for example, in a bar to have your coffee, read a newspaper, eat a croissant, and have a cigarette. So yeah, that's a little bit of a stereotype, not as true as it used to be, because in France, like in every country I've been to, they're fighting against tobacco. But that is another stereotype, I think. Marine, we need to see you make a vlog at the Eiffel Tower, French museums. Yeah, the thing is, I don't go often enough back to France, and when I do, I try to just spend time with my family, and in the end, I just don't film, so that's why. But that's definitely something I need to do. I agree. Sorry, what do you have from Spain and France? You mean personality-wise? Things like that? Well, like I said, I think I speak quite loud, and that's a pretty Spanish thing, especially in Andalusia, where I am living. French, I do like to complain a lot. But, you know, I complain a lot, but it's like a 2-second thing, and then it's gone. I get grumpy for a second, and then it's gone. I just let it out, and then I'm fine. I just need to get it out of my system, I guess. And then, yes, you speak really loud, because I put the volume on maximum on your computer, and you listen to you. But if I speak with you face to face, it can be a problem. I think face to face is a little bit different as well. I know how to adjust my volume. Hugo is saying, French people like to make complaints, especially about food. Oh yes, because we have the best food in the world. Everywhere we go, you know, we have to compare. Now, I love food, any kind of food, so I'm not really that bothered. The one thing that I do really miss from France, and that I think makes it a curse being French, is everywhere I go, no matter what, I will never find desserts that are as good as the French desserts. And you can say whatever you want, guys, I will disagree with you. French desserts are the best. There's nothing better. Once I took Arran to kind of a fancy restaurant for his 25th birthday. The meal was extraordinarily good. It was fantastic. And then we ordered dessert, and it was just a chocolate cake. What a disappointment. They didn't even make a good chocolate cake. So yeah, that's one thing that I would agree with you on Hugo, is we complain about food a little bit. Okay, another thing that yes, the French breakfast is often a croissant and a coffee, a black coffee. I can't do that. But a lot of people also just do butter, bread and jam, which is very lovely as well. Okay, who are my favorite French or Spanish writers? I never ever read in French. In Spanish, sorry. In French, I used to read in French, and there's a few authors, I can't remember their name, but I really like, and most of the time those were either thrillers or kind of real life stories. There's another one I like, Guillaume Musso. I think I have some of his books around here. Yeah, that guy, Guillaume Musso. He's quite good. That's something I like. I can't put it back. But if you want some recommendations, I can have a look into that and tell you some of the books that I like. I just don't remember authors that well. But okay. Italian ice cream. Yes, that's good. That's really good. Absolutely. And that's true that the French are not necessarily the best at ice cream, but every other dessert is better in France. Am I making enemies now? Maybe. Have you ever tried Asian food? Oh yeah, I love Asian food. I love Thai, I love Korean, I love Chinese, I love Japanese. Those are the ones that I've tried, and beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Now, Sheriff, you'll be surprised to know that we are not necessarily actually the kings of cheese. Well, we have the best cheeses, of course, but we don't have the most cheeses. the UK is actually ahead of us. They have more cheeses than we do. Now, a lot of their cheeses are similar, whereas the French cheeses are very, very different. But yeah, there's actually more cheeses in England and the UK than there are in France, which is very surprising, I think. Very, very, very surprising. Alright guys, any other little thing that you know about the French or the Brits that you'd like to share with us? Oh yes, Sherry, if you're talking about old school writers, Victor Hugo, Baudelaire, yeah, okay, I know what you mean. Alright, so I think we're reaching the end of our lesson today. It was a little bit quicker, but I hope you really, really enjoyed it. Let me know. I was thinking maybe of doing this kind of listening practice once a month, maybe every beginning of the month or every end of the month, just to change a little bit from the usual. If that's something that you'd like, please let me know in the actual comment section, not in the chat, but in the comment section once the video is over. That way it'd be easier for me to track those back again, okay? All right. Oh, Sherry, you're saying best desserts in Spain. I quite like, they like something called palmeras. So they look like hearts, but it's puff pastry. This is really nice. It's a little bit caramelized. That's lovely. Then there's a lot of very special desserts for specific occasions during the year. Around Holy Week and Feria Week, there is something called torrijas, which is some kind of bread that's soaked in honey and I think wine as well, red wine, and then it's fried. This is quite yummy, but it's only at certain periods of the year, okay? Alright, so Andreas is saying, yes, please, more like this. Lolly said she enjoyed the lesson as well. Awesome. Alright guys, so then your job is to comment in the comment section that you like this kind of lesson and to suggest possible topics for the next dialogue, okay? I'll try to always make it a little bit interesting and a little bit educational so that you learn a little bit about something as well. But please guide me and let me know in the comment section what kind of topic you'd like to learn about. And I'll work on that for you. Okay, guys? Well, time to... Oh, Natilla, Andreas. Yeah, this is not great. That's just me. So natilla is basically, I don't know if you guys know danette. It's some kind of pudding, but natilla is the vanilla flavor. I don't like vanilla flavored desserts usually, unless it's like ice cream or something like that, because fake vanilla really tastes fake, I think, so I don't like that. But I do like danette, chocolate danette. That's good because it's chocolate. Everything is good when it's chocolate. Ha 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 ha. All right, and yes, next week we have another wonderful teacher, but I'm not telling you who it is. It is going to be a woman. A woman. So I will let you know more during the week about who it is. So let's move on to our bye-bye slide. Here we go. So thank you guys for joining us, of course. Remember that you can become a patron and get a big shout out on Saturday on YouTube, and you also get a shout out on Instagram. Now, if you get me a cup of coffee at www.coffee.com, know that this is a contribution that goes towards paying the software that I'm using, for example. And as you know, I constantly need new materials. For example, I need... Oh yeah, I've lost a piece of my tripod, so now I can't really keep my camera on the tripod, so that's something I need. I need a new microphone. There's a lot of things, so anything is greatly appreciated, guys. So if you can, check it out at coffee.com. Now, for our next live, it will be on YouTube, of course, and it will be on Thursday at 4 p.m. GMT +2. I don't know what the topic will be. Last time we did something a little bit, we did a phrasal verb, which was a bit intense. So maybe we'll do something a little bit more fun this time. Maybe some kind of game, maybe some activities, or maybe just some kind of funny vocabulary on a specific topic. Let me know if you also have some ideas in the comment section below, okay? All right. Gillo is performing in Malaga tonight. Oh, wow. That's cool. Tak, tak, tak. Then, sure thing, Marine. Oh, Kaderi says, Eid Mubarak. Is it the end of Ramadan today? Is it now? Really? I thought it was already finished. I don't know. Well, if it is, Eid Mubarak! Alright, do I like honey? Absolutely, honey is lovely, especially in tea. Yummy. Thank you, Sheriff. Thank you, Andreas. Yeah, pudding is lovely. Alright, guys, well, have a lovely weekend. Make sure to like the video as much as possible, but also to share it so that we can reach and help as many learners as possible. Now, of course, guys, I forgot what I was going to say. Of course, guys, what? Ah, yes! Tomorrow I am releasing a little vlog, that I made last weekend. I was in Portugal and we were on a boat for a day, so I made a little vlog. Now, I didn't film everything because I was with my family and I wanted to spend some time with them. So it's mostly a bunch of little clips together with a little bit of vocabulary in between, but I hope you'll find it interesting and fun and that you will enjoy it. All right. Sheriff is asking, who is the strangest on the beach photo? Probably me. I'm always doing weird things like that, weird positions, so it's probably me. Alright, and hello Bonker Bonker, nice to meet you. And we are about to go, guys. So that's it. We've done a little bit less than usual, only 49 minutes, but that's okay. Alright, have a lovely weekend. And of course what? Of course what? Huh? Of course, keep on learning, guys. Sorry, I'm just trying to find the end slide that I can't find right now. Ha, ha, ha. Where is it? Where is it? Come back. Well, maybe there won't be any end slides today, guys. What have I done with it? Come on. Yep. No end slide today. It's here. No, it's not here. Well, I'll just upload it differently. Ha, 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 ha. Where is it? I can't find it. What have I done? I must be here. I think it's here. Yes. All right, that's it. I'm leaving. Goodbye, everyone. See you next Thursday, but make sure to come back tomorrow. Make sure that you have the bell button pressed. That way you get a notification when I upload a video. Okay, guys? All right, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and of course, keep on learning. Mwah. Bye-bye. Enjoy your weekend. So guys, if you are curious and you want to hear me speak French, my native language, make sure to check the video that I released last week on how to pronounce the alphabet.